Hi, we're back. Thanks for staying with us and joined in studio now by Mike Manahan. Mike is a spokesman for Epazz Incorporated. Their stock symbol is EPAZ. Mike, always good to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, it's an exciting time for the company right now because your Zenapay app, which is your cannabis app, is under beta testing, is going to launch November 1st. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this a few months ago, that the company was developing basically a payment system for people to use when they went to their local cannabis dispensary. As you know, under federal law, the cannabis dispensaries, even though it's now legal in many, many states, they can't use the traditional banking system. They can't have a traditional bank account. They can't use credit cards. So, of course, that makes payment very difficult. Not to mention there's security issues, because if all the customers are paying with cash, you're accumulating tons and tons of cash. And of course, everybody's heard of stories where these cannabis dispensaries have been robbed. So what's the solution? Well, we previously announced at Zenapay Epazz that we were developing Zenapay, which is a payment processing system that can be used in cannabis dispensaries. And basically how it works is you download the app, you go into the cannabis dispensary, you purchase using the app Bitcoins, which you can use a credit card to purchase the Bitcoins, and then you pay for your cannabis through the Bitcoin on the app, and then the proprietor that owns the cannabis store can convert that back into cash, or alternatively can use those Bitcoins to pay his suppliers.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the customer will use the app on his or her iPhone or that kind of device, and there's certain settings where they can make a purchase, add Bitcoins to their wallet, so to speak. On the merchant side, he's using an iPad or a tablet of that kind, and he can keep track of all these things, accept the money, request money, and make the transaction.
Yeah, basically we've created a payment system where somebody can make payments and somebody can accept payments, which is literally outside of the traditional banking system. So we don't have to worry about all of those regulatory issues coming from Washington. And of course, you know, with the cannabis industry, I mean, literally exploding. I mean, state after state. I was talking to a gentleman who owns one of the largest cannabis dispensaries in Seattle, and he says it is just incredible the amount of cash that they have on hand at any given point in time. So this is going to be a huge solution for the industry. And the great news is, you know, we announced we were working on it a few months ago. We now have the beta testing version, and you can go to, you know, the website zenapay.com and actually get instructions on how to download that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple because we did it ourselves. You download Test Flight first, and then from Test Flight you can download the Zenapay app, and that's basically a beta testing application. Now, I understand the company is also involved in a crowdfunding campaign to raise approximately $1 million. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, we're doing a crowdfunding campaign. The goal is to raise $1 million. Clearly, building an app, that's one thing, but you know, we've got to market this. We've got to let the people in the cannabis business know that this particular solution is there. This can take some marketing dollars, hire some sales folks and go to some trade shows and what have you. So right now, we're raising the money. It'll help us, you know, put the finishing touches on the app, as well as get out there and market it and get the dispensaries using it. But you know, my feeling is, really, once we get a few stores using this solution, the word is going to spread like crazy, because the industry is very close. The people who run these dispensaries all talk to each other. They belong to similar associations, and they kind of know what's going on within the industry.
Well, let's look at it from a practical standpoint, because now we're in a situation, a tipping point has happened. There's more states where marijuana is legal, either medically or recreationally, than there aren't. And we have election day coming up in a few weeks. And I think there's 7 or 8 more states that are probably going to approve it. So we're going past the 30, 35 states that you know, are going to have it recreationally legal. Jeff Sessions doesn't like marijuana, so we don't think it's going to be federally legal anytime soon. So we need a solution, and you're telling me this is it.
This is the solution. You know, and the federal government, I mean, they've got so many other things on their plate right now anyway. They're busy with tax reform and health care and a host of other things that even if they had an interest in doing something, in this area, it's going to be put on the back burner. So you're right. We've got this burgeoning industry. I mean, literally thousands upon thousands of new dispensaries opening up in all of these states where it's legal. I mean, just here in California, we're expecting a massive, I mean, it's going to be like the gold rush, literally, in California, effective January the 1st. And every one of these dispensaries needs a system to accept payment from customers. This is that system.
Once again, the company is Epazz Incorporated. EPAZ is their stock symbol. Go to Zenapay.com for more information about this app. Mike, always exciting. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.